What's up, YouTube? Just want to put you guys on a little bit of game, and specifically for addicts in recovery. So for those of you guys that watch my channel, the Righteous Monkey YouTube channel, my name's Daniel. What's up? For those of you guys that watch my channel, know that when I was in rehab, I was able to get my recovery support specialist certification. With that certification, I was able to get a job like a month after I got out of treatment. I was able to get a job as a life coach at a treatment center. I was working with young kids, age was like 15 to 25 or something like that, but I feel that job right there was a huge stepping stone, because when I was in rehab, I made it a point every day to help at least one person. That was how I healed. That made me feel good. That was part of my recovery, just reaching out outside of myself and helping somebody. When you're in rehab, specifically in rehab, you're in your feels the majority of the time, meaning you're thinking about the outside world. You're in your feels the majority of the time, thinking about life on the outside world, and it tears you down. Fucking people, bro. Trying to do some good. You got some people coming to storages. Anyway, when you're in rehab, oh my God, straight bloopers, bro. These people are messing me up. Anyway, this is raw and cut. So, like I was saying, when you're in treatment, you are in your feelings the majority of the time, thinking about the outside world, thinking about stuff that you have no control over. So, I made it a point to help somebody, at least one person, whether it's my roommate, somebody else. I was even helping facilitate meetings. With all the information I learned in the recovery support specialist class, I was able to utilize the information and help the staff. And they were always short-staffed at the rehab, so I stepped up. I reached out outside of myself, and I got to facilitate some of the sessions there. They were like hour long. And I was at the front of the class. I had a desk, and they had different worksheets that with different exercises, stuff that would make you think. So I would start off by sharing whatever the topic was about, and we went around the room, and I provided some feedback, some insight, and the staff was impressed. I doubt I could have nailed it as well as I did. That's what she said. But I don't think I would have did a good job without, that education from the class. So what I'm trying to say is, when I was in rehab, I had a felony. I didn't catch it in rehab, but I caught a felony 2011, third degree felony. And I was still able to get a job. If you have a felony, that shouldn't stop you. Don't use it as an excuse. If you're using everything in your past as an excuse, then I don't see any hope for you at that point. I'm big on hope, but you have to find hope within yourself. So there's jobs out there, guys. You just gotta do some research and make it happen. I was able to not really set my felony aside, but I was able to get my civil rights restored after, I think, a couple years, or however long the time frame was. After I got off parole, I was able to restore my civil rights and gun rights as well. So there's still hope for you guys, man. my charge wasn't dangerous. It was non-violent, non-sexual, nothing like that. So that kind of expedited the process, because I wasn't a violent person. I'm still not a violent person. So that whole process of restoring my rights was pretty smooth. And it may be a little different, maybe a lot different, if you have gun charges, if you have serious assault cases that you've done time for that are felonies. I would suggest looking into, or actually I would suggest looking online, doing your research, whatever state you're in, try and find out what you have to do to get your civil rights restored. And also find out if that's even possible with a certain charge you have. If you don't have any felonies, you don't have to worry about it. So, it's a good job, man. I really suggest it for people who are in recovery. Doesn't matter how long you've been clean and sober. If you're fresh out of rehab, look online, see if there's any classes for either peer support, recovery support specialist, BHTs, anything like that you could get certified in. I didn't have any trades my whole life. My first job, I worked in the mall, like a little retail sports store. Did that for 3 years, and then I got my first hotel job as a front desk agent when I was 19. So the majority of my work experience has been in customer service. So all I know is people. All I know is communication. Those type of jobs, you have to use your mind. You have to be sharp. I barely know the damn screwdrivers. You know, the plus and minus screwdrivers? Those things. I barely know them. I know how to change my oil. But I'd rather have somebody else do it. Because with that time, I could be listing more things on eBay. And getting my money's worth. Getting my time's worth. You know what I mean? I don't want to be wrenching under my car. Anyway, that's just me. That's a whole tangent. What I'm trying to say is, if you have a felony, don't let that stop you. There's still options. It's a really good job. Try looking into working at a rehab, whether it's a life coach or any of the things I mentioned. It's a great job, man. You get to help people on a daily basis. It helps you keep yourself accountable, because if you decide to one day mess around and get high before you go to work, your staff, those other rehab clients, those patients, they will recognize the eyes never lie, chico. You know what I mean? The eyes never lie. So they will be able to spot your BS right off the bat. If you're trying to be smooth, you got Visine. I did all that in the past. Got away with it for a little bit, but I felt like an asshole. Straight up. Felt like an asshole. I was fronting, putting up a front. Retarded. Thanks for listening.